Okay, everything's rolling. Oh, damn, the lightning is not looking that great. So obviously this is not gonna be like any kind of YouTube video where I'm gonna provide value intentionally. I'm really just gonna take you guys along with me to work tonight, and so it's like 10:35 p.m. at the moment on a Sunday. I have school tomorrow and I have a ton of exams coming up, but I also have a ton of work to do for my own business, my own projects, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me. Really just keep it like super authentic, because like this is really what it is. Like this is what most people don't show, is that you need to have these nights as an entrepreneur where you're just working on your laptop, and like that's it. Like that's what a weekend looks like. Obviously, you know, like throughout the weekend I went to eat out, but you know, like you just work towards your dreams by really putting in the work at night. Like I and honestly, like it has come to a point where I don't even know what else to do at night apart from like go eat and work. Right? You know, like people watch movies or whatever. I have never found myself being able to do that. I don't know like how. I'm just not able to do that, right? So this is how I spend every single night. Yeah, I work every single day. Like I would feel so guilty if I didn't. And that could be like a good thing, it could be a bad thing, I don't really know. But what I do know is I cannot go a day without working. I would feel so guilty. And it wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't feel like a good day at all. So yeah, we're gonna get back to work. And I'm gonna take you guys along with me. I do need to get some work done, so I'm just gonna sort of run you through what I'm doing. I have some tasks. So essentially what I'm doing at the moment is I'm creating content in bulk, right? So obviously to grow my short form personal brand, I spend a lot of time, usually on Sundays actually, bulking out my content, bulking out my scripts, so that maybe like tomorrow or throughout the week I'm able to actually film it all, and get that out of the way, right? Because it's probably the most crucial part of this all. But eventually it gets to a point where if you're able to scale so far, you're able to not only hire a content team where you don't even need to like put in that much effort into creating content. You probably just make like a few videos and then you're good for the day, you know? It gets to a point, obviously with every business it gets to that point, but in the beginning you always need to be putting in as much work and as much volume as possible. And so yeah, that's what I do, to sort of make sure that I'm able to get it out of the way. I bulk it out on Sundays, and either I spend one entire day filming everything, or I just film throughout the week and then edit it out, right? It's probably the most time-consuming task ever, and that's why doing it in bulk is very, very helpful. I also need to post and schedule the content that I've already created from the last bulk. So we have one for Sunday, and then right now I'm just like generating, repurposing everything. The third task is actually to film a YouTube video, so here you guys go, take you guys along with me. The fourth one is to restructure my fulfillment program. So as I'm working on my info business, on my online coaching business, which is sort of revolved around my personal brand, I am really focused on structuring out the fulfillment program in a way where I'm able to give out all the information, all the tools, all the resources that I need to in the best way possible, and obviously have it all cleared out with the person that I'm actually able to help, right? So this would be 9-to-5 workers, people, girls especially, who are just looking to grow their social media and get their first 5 clients, right? Because this is something that I've been able to achieve in like 7 days, so I'm able to actually help others do the same, and I'm trying to structure out the program in a way where it all makes sense. So I just need to restructure that out. Another thing that I do for my social media is I post 5 to 8 stories. I know that seems like a lot, but it's really to be able to keep my audience engaged with every single thing that I'm doing throughout the day, right? And this is part of it. This is part of my day. Today I went to get coffee. I went to wash my boyfriend's car. We went to wash the car. We went out to eat some good red meat, and that's it. We came home, we just worked. I came back for dinner, And yeah, now we're working, and it's kind of like, apart from the work that I'm doing right now, like I'm just gonna try and be as authentic as possible in this video. My mom is actually working today. She's worked all day, and she came back at like 7 p.m. She left at like 8 a.m. And so yeah, she literally just got back, and once I came home around like 6 p.m. and I ate with my boyfriend and he went home. I came up to see my mom just passed out on the couch from just how hard she's been working all day, and it breaks my heart, right? And this is why like I need to do this work, because as I'm telling you, like this woman works so hard, it's crazy. On Sundays, like she works literally every day. Sometimes she gets a day off, but that's like at most, right? And even when she gets a day off, she needs to work online, which is just absolutely insane. And coming home, seeing her passed out, it's hard to, it's hard to realize just how serious like this entire journey is. Like I'm not just doing this so I can get success. No, I'm not just doing this so I can become successful, make money, travel the world, but it's really just to like help her, because I see the way she goes out of her way to help people, and the job that she does is just incredible, but it drains her out so much, and it breaks my heart, which is why like this is what I'm doing. Every single task that I'm laying out here is so I'm able to build this life where I'm not only able to take care of myself, but I'm able to take care of my family. Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into that. It's just something I sort of had to point out because it literally happened like a few minutes ago. So yeah, she's sleeping downstairs on the couch. I just like put a blanket over her. But so the next thing that I have to do is I need to sort of prepare for the new exams that are coming up with school. Summer is in like 4 weeks, which is insane. I'm gonna have like the entire summer to focus on everything, which is quite incredible. I'm gonna have a lot of time, but I don't even think I'm gonna study for this exam because it's not even like a priority. Another thing that I have to do is I'm gonna do market research for content. I need to make a content plan for 2 of my clients, plan out some actual educational YouTube videos, not just like YouTube videos like this where I'm just being authentic about the things that I do throughout my night, but like an actual well-structured out YouTube video. Sorry, my eye, like I actually have my eye contact's been bugging me all day. I don't know why. More market research on another specific individual. There's a webinar that they created that I have been studying, and the funny thing is I have understood so much about the info space, because not only have I've been working in the info space for not that long actually, right? Like I started my personal brand, I started posting on the 1st of January, but I started info like maybe 2-3 months after that. So I haven't been in the info space for that long, but I've studied info since the absolute dawn of time, since I started entrepreneurship, right? Like before I even started like any kind of business, I would spend hours a day just studying people, not studying what they were teaching, but studying what they were doing, right? And people teach things like go do this specific business model, go do this specific business model, but yet they are in info, right? So obviously now that I'm in info, I'm studying every single thing that they're doing behind the scenes in order to run these webinars, right? It might be like a little bit complicated if you're listening to this, but this is just like something that I've personally realized and that I've been working on. Another thing that I'm looking to improve is my high ticket sales. Because I've been so focused on content itself, I feel like my sales skills have deteriorated like crazy. So I need to get back on that. Just like, it's funny because I used to be super good at chess. I used to be like an absolute killer at chess. Like I would go to my grandparents' house with like all my family members, and we would play like 7 rounds. Like I would play me versus whoever, and whoever's like next, just like bring them along. And I won like 8 rounds in a row, just like in a row, just me winning literally every single family member. And I played chess yesterday with my dad and I lost so fast. So I feel a little bit the same with sales because I haven't been practicing sales that much. I've just been focusing on growing my personal brand. So really looking to improve that, get my sales skills back. Obviously still have the foundations, but need to rewire everything. And yeah, that's it for tonight. I'm not gonna make this YouTube video that long, but I need to continuously script out my short form content. And so I am currently planning out, it's 4 videos a day. So 4 videos a day, and essentially what I do is I have 2 videos that are focused on virality, right? So these 2 videos, which I call top of funnel, are videos that are focused primarily to bring in as much attention as possible. So this is like very, very short videos that sort of talk about selling the outcome, rather than actually getting into detail, right? And then I have 2 other videos, which I call middle of funnel content, where you actually get into detail while still keeping it simple, right? Actually giving action steps, giving real true value. And top of funnel really is about, telling your story, just being able to record things that bringing attention, right? So relatable things, not things that actually get into detail about the vehicle that you use to get a certain outcome. So yeah, this is really how I structure out my content. It's quite simple, but being able to do market research, being able to script everything out is super, super important. And also one thing that I noticed about being a CEO, like let's say you're starting your own business, or being a creator, is people say like learn one skill and go all in. It doesn't work that way, because you need to learn as much as you hate it. If you get into business, if you're a business owner, if you're planning to take like 90% profit of everything, because if you're a closer, you just take 10%, you can make 10K a month. But the business owner is taking everything, right? They're taking all the profit. It's crazy. Like it's absolutely insane, right? So if you don't want to be the kind of person who just takes 10% and just works for somebody else, and you actually want to build a solid foundation, you need to learn multiple skills, right? You need to, obviously, it's not like learning multiple skills, but it's learning something that is a bundle of multiple skills, right? So when it comes to scripting out, not only do you need to have the skill of content creation, you need to have the skill of copywriting. You need to have some basic psychology skills, because 99% of the content that you put out there, and 90% of the content, or even like just the media, is just psychology. Everything is psychology. So you need to know about psychology, you need to know about copywriting, you need to know about sales, because the entire point of building a personal brand is being able to build a brand and build content that sells before you actually, get on call with the person and sell them there, right? So it's being able to have sales skills. It's just having everything, right? But if you're willing to go the extra mile of following the steps, even though it requires more work, you literally get to take 90% profit of everything, right? Let's say you were to give 10% to a closer, you take 90% of everything, right? The business owners, they take everything, bro. It's crazy. Like, if you're able to find a good vehicle that does allow you to keep all the profit, it's insane. And info is one of them, and info, I'll be honest with you guys, like I'll make a video diving deeper into this, but info has been around forever, right? And the reason why school pisses me off so much is because school is a form of info. It's an info business, except obviously you have the actual establishment, you have the actual school itself, you have the teachers and everything, but it's an info business. If it's a private school, there's somebody behind it, there's a CEO behind it, they're earning so much, it's crazy. Like, you would not even know. And the person who founded the entire educational system itself was a business owner, was a CEO. It's mad. It's actually mad. And that's why school pisses me off so much, is because I understand all this. Like, I spent so long studying every single tiny little bit about like the history of money, obviously how people in the online space are currently operating these days, what they do, what they're doing, every single tiny thing that they're doing. I studied, bro. If you know what that means. Okay, anyways, we're actually gonna get to work. So I've already completed out a few days. So I've completed out Monday and Tuesday. I'm almost done with Wednesday. and I'm probably gonna go all night with this. But I'm gonna read you an example. So I'll read you an example of a script on Monday, and then I'll sort of break down like how I structured it, because that's sort of what like this YouTube video is about. I'm just gonna be super authentic and just spoil everything. So this video is middle of the funnel, and this is how I scripted it out. Everyone talks about how social media is bad, but no one talks about how it can change your life. That's a hook, right? That's the first 3 seconds of the video that brings in all the attention, right? Obviously, top of funnel is different, but you still need a hook in everything, right? Top of funnel is focused on virality, but being able to actually bring in the attention, it comes from the hook. So first 3 seconds, there you go, you've already attracted attention, and then you develop, right? The way that I personally like to structure it is you give a backstory. You're able to include your own stories in it, where it just becomes more relatable, it becomes more authentic because you actually tell your story. So the way I did that is by saying, I used to think that social media was all about scrolling, comparing ourselves to others, and wasting time. I saw no benefit in it, but was still addicted and would spend hours scrolling each day. That's what most people believe social media is, and for a while I did too, until this happened. And the fact that I go from explaining the backstory into transitioning into this phase where it's like the breaking point. What was the one thing that changed everything? So until this happened, I started to see more videos online with people talking about online money. That doesn't sound great. So we're gonna reword that. I started to see more videos of people talking about online money, living the life of their dreams, and being able to make so much money from social media. Being able to make a ton of money from social media. One thing that I like to do is actually reread my scripts. This is actually very useful. Rereading your scripts and seeing like what doesn't sound too right. That's why, spending one day, like a Sunday, like a weekend, to structure out everything, make sure that everything is well formulated. It's going to make sure that your content is high quality, it's well structured, and that it's intentional, right? You don't want to be creating just any kind of content. You want to be creating content that has intention. Every single tiny little thing in the script is structured out, has intention behind it, has an actual incentive behind it. And that's what I mean that everything is psychology. Not only is everything psychology in the content space, in the online space, but every single thing that every single entrepreneur does. I will never stop talking about this. Everybody knows exactly what the hell they're doing. Like, I promise you, there's every single thing that you see online, every single tiny little thing, every single word is so well correlated and structured out. Every single thing, literally every single word. Like, I won't stop saying this. Every single word out there is so well structured out. It needs to be well structured out. All right, so okay, we'll just continue. And I realized that there are 2 types of people on the internet: people who waste their life and people who use social media to build their dream life. I started to understand that social media was the biggest opportunity to build businesses, to make connections, and to make money. And the best part about it is that anyone who is willing to put themselves out there can take advantage of this opportunity. If you're watching this video, become that person who uses social media to build the life of your dreams, build that online business, build that personal brand, and be the girl who takes advantage. So I would say honestly that this is more top of funnel. I'm not even sure why I made this middle funnel. So yeah, we're gonna change that to top of funnel and then make another middle of funnel. So yeah, that is a little bit more top of funnel because that's focused on selling the actual outcome, right? It's not actually focused on selling the vehicle. And so essentially when it comes to content, top of funnel content is you have point A and point B, right? Point A is where they are initially right now, is where the viewer is right now. And point B is the point where they want to be, right? So in here, I talk about where I was before, which is exactly where they currently are now, and where the dream outcome is, right? And then middle funnel content is selling the line that connects these 2 dots. What is the one thing that's going to get you from here to here? That's what middle funnel of content is about. It's being able to help them and give value on that, right? So yeah, just change this to top of funnel. And yeah, but you still obviously want to keep it like surface level based, because then if you actually, one thing that I learned from one of my mentors is that you need to keep everything very, very simple, right? You don't want to go too deep in depth. One thing that I realized is that I'm a very, very advanced person. So if you put me in a business room, I will talk about the most advanced things with the most advanced words ever. And most people, when they're watching your content, they don't know that, right? They don't know any of that. As much as I want to target established business owners, it's not going to happen. Not with social media, right? That's why it's very important to help beginners, unless like from the beginning of Dawn, you actually focus on only helping business owners, then you'll be able to find a way to actually attract them. But because I realized that 90% of my content and of my audience is mostly from beginners, that's who I mainly focus on helping, right? Because I'm not just going to help who I want to help. I'm going to help people who are connecting to me and who actually need the help, who need this specific kind of help, right? And they're not established business owners, so that's fine. I'm not creating a product for who I want this product to be for. I'm just creating the product for whoever needs it, whoever is near me who needs it. And that's beginners, that's people who are working a 9 to 5, right? That's essentially what this is about. And so I'm not gonna get to this because obviously it's still a long YouTube video, but yeah, I'm actually gonna just continue crafting out the script itself. This YouTube video was my third task, so I'm gonna take that off and obviously create more educational videos where everything is more intentional, structured out. But I also like creating videos like this where it's more authentic. So it's been very nice to film this video and just post my stories, just go on about the rest of the tasks that I need to do. But honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, I can't focus while filming, so I'm gonna get back to work. And even though like filming this has been part of work, so yeah, I guess this video has been more about, you know, just being authentic, showing like what goes through my mind on a night like this. Obviously I can't take you through the actual work that I do, like step by step, because it's gonna take too long. I'm gonna work until like 2 a.m. and the fact that I can't focus, so I need to close this off. But I'm gonna get back to work. Yeah, just like film this to clear my mind and document everything. Like that's the point of this entire YouTube. Like I will never shut up about this. That's the entire point of this, you know. I'm not just gonna provide value, I'm gonna show the authentic process of what it takes to achieve your dreams, and this is part of it. No, I literally have school tomorrow. I'm gonna work till 2 a.m. and wake up at like 7 or 6, I don't know. Yeah guys, that's what it takes. And I'm gonna get back to work. I'll see you in the next one.